Every Wednesday we meet, and it's about mindfulness meditation. So to give you a bit of background about the type of meditation that we do on Wednesdays, it's really about being mindful about where you are, how you're sitting, what you're doing. And why is that important? It's about learning to stabilize the mind, learning to steady our emotions, and learning to take that pause whenever we may feel pain, for example, or simply to just have a rest, resting the mind. Of course, the alternative can be to sleep. And of course, I would advocate that as well, having enough sleep. But here we are, it's also about learning how we can transform our lives, how we can live differently. And it starts with what's going on in the mind. And one of the first steps of being mindful is to be aware of our automatic tendencies or our very immediate reactions or very immediate thoughts that come to mind. Now, the intention is really to pay attention to what's going on automatically, our automatic reactions. Now, some of our reactions may be helpful, or they were helpful in helping us deal with whatever pain or stress that we were experiencing. But sometimes some of these automatic reactions may no longer be helpful or were never ever helpful to begin with. And so an automatic reaction could be when someone that you regularly interact with and some things they say always tend to irritate you. And so that automatic reaction is that irritation that just immediately arises. Now, the idea is not to push away that reaction, but simply to notice. And sometimes it's just to be extra kind to ourselves whenever, that trigger arises. So we usually come to sit. Standing is also possible. Maybe sometimes you have been sitting the whole day and you just want to stand up. That's okay. Or you feel like lying down. Most importantly, just taking care of yourself in this 12 minutes that we are together. So tonight's theme is about automatic reaction. And the invitation is to notice whatever automatic tendencies that you see that are quite familiar, some familiar patterns. So maybe what's familiar is impatience. What's familiar is the tendency want to open the eyes, want to start to do this, do that. That automatic tendency may be always wanting to keep ourselves busy. So the idea is to just notice what's going on, noticing our automatic tendencies. So the option is to close the eyes or just keeping them open or just softening the gaze. If you're keeping the eyes open, you can maybe turn away and look at the window or something. So I'll usually be closing the eyes. And in line with the theme of tonight, automatic tendencies, what do we automatically do whenever we close the eyes or when we get into a meditation practice? What's that first thing that we tend to do? So I'd like to invite you to just notice that. And just noticing that without having to judge yourself. Coming to noticing the breath, the flow of the breath. With each inhale, pausing, and then exhaling. And if you wish, noticing where the mind has wandered. As you are trying to pay attention to breathing, maybe the mind has a mind of its own and is wandering off to what am I going to do after this practice? What do I need to do tomorrow? Or maybe evaluating the day in the mind. So just being mindful where the mind tend to automatically and frequently go towards our to-do list or some worry that we have, some problem that we're trying to solve, noticing how the mind keeps gravitating towards that automatically. So as you're noticing that, and to step away from that automatic tendency is to just shift the attention, shifting it back to the breath as we inhale and then exhaling. It's okay, by the way, for the mind to wander, for the mind to automatically go to some thoughts. Here we are learning to notice, oh, that's how the mind automatically works. Then bringing the mind back, stabilizing the mind, focusing on the breath. Or perhaps what's immediately arising for you is a physical sensation, maybe a sore, an ache, or pain, perhaps from a medical treatment. Maybe it helps just breathing in and breathing out, visualizing breathing out into that spot where you're feeling tightness or pain. And maybe sending words of affirmation to yourself. I got this. This is okay. I can manage this. Maybe there's always this sensation or emotion that keeps following you. Maybe sadness, emptiness, blankness, a sense of nothingness. And just noticing that, embracing that feeling. Noticing that automatically arises, maybe in certain situations or sometimes, or certain times of the day. Maybe it's been going on for a long time. And that's okay, just noticing that. As you're breathing in, breathing out. It's okay if our automatic tendencies is to feel gloomy, sad, or melancholy. Just noticing, oh, that's that feeling here. That sadness is not your identity. It's merely a feeling. And so we're just noticing it as a feeling, as an automatic feeling. Or maybe you're wondering, what's the purpose of life? What's the point of getting up? Maybe you're feeling a sense of fed upness, burnout. It's okay, just noticing all that. Noticing that maybe it's cropping up quite automatically for a long time. And just being kind to yourself when that feeling arises. Shifting the attention to the act of breathing. Inhale, exhaling. And as you're sitting here, checking in with the body, maybe noticing if the position has shifted or maybe you've moved. And it's okay, just being mindful, oh, I've moved. This is how I'm sitting, or maybe you're slouching. So maybe straightening up the back could be helpful. And in line with the theme of today's practice, which is about facing automatic reactions, noticing them. This is how you automatically tend to act. And the poem is It is Marvelous by Elizabeth Bishop. It is marvelous to wake up together. At the same time, marvelous to hear the rain begin suddenly all over the roof, to feel the air clear as if electricity has passed through it, from a black mesh of wires in the sky, all over the roof, the rain hisses, and below the light falling of kisses. And from the same simplified point of view of night and lying flat on one's back, all things must change equally easily. Since always to warn us there must be these black electrical wires dangling. Without surprise, the world might change to something quite different. As the air changes of the lightning comes without our blinking, change as our kisses are changing without our thinking. And so how automatic thoughts, reactions can just arise without our thinking. And it's okay. The point here about mindfulness is to just noticing these reactions arise and then considering whether they still serve us well, or are they actually acting as a hindrance for us to progress in life. So in this last few moments of our practice, feel free to continue sitting. Now when you're ready, taking the time, opening the eyes only when you're ready. Now expanding your gaze to across the room. Taking this sense of mindfulness that you may have cultivated in this practice, the next few moments of your evening or night. And so with this, that's the end. Of course, feel free to continue sitting if you wish. And thank you very much for your attendance. Do take care. Good night. Take care.